I'm doing well, Taylor. I had an amazing off day yesterday. Some time to recover after some unfortunate events the other night. Yeah. How about you? How was your off day yesterday, Taylor?
It was great, thank you.
What'd you do? What happened?
Just did laundry.
Laundry.
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Did you do whites? Was it?
Oh yeah, whites, brights, dark.
I do everything cold, just one time. Yeah. That's awesome. What kind of fabrics outfit do you use?
Oh my gosh.
I'm curious, as a guy that's been in the league, with the emergence now of load management as a strategy, how do you view it? I mean, do you see the good of it, the bad of it, as a guy that was around when it probably wasn't necessarily being used? How do you view it?
I think to each his own in that situation. You can't tell people how their bodies feel. So, I've been very fortunate to be healthy a lot of my career. And my rookie year, I didn't play a lot. So I think for me individually, I wanted to play every game and not miss. But like I said, I think the only person that knows your body is you. So I think each person is different.
A couple of months ago, maybe weeks ago, a month ago, Zeke kind of credited you for showing him some of the small aspects of being more of a center in terms of screening, positioning, that kind of stuff. Why do that for another guy? And how would you rate his progress?
Why I do that for another guy?
Yeah.
Because we're on the same. Because we're on the same team. And,
I mean, for minutes.
I think we're competing to win the championship. We're on the same team. I don't go out there like, I hope Zeke plays like shit so I can play. Like, that's a bad way to go about life. Because then, if he's not playing well, we're not playing well as a team. So I'm going to be ready when my number's called and vice versa. But I think that, obviously Zeke's a young player and I've seen a lot of things, so I want to be able to help him as much as I can so we can pass it down to the next guy. And ultimately, it's for us to be a better team. Nikola teaches me stuff, Jeff. And I think when you have guys like that who are willing to help other guys get better, it's just better for our whole team.
Malone was praising this particular group of veterans 2 or 3 days ago. What is unique about the grouping of you, Jeff, Ish, KCP, those guys?
Well, I mean, Jeff's, he's so old, he's been around a very long time.
Yeah.
So a guy like that is great to have on your team because he's seen a lot. The same with Ish, they've been on a ton of different teams and seen how the NBA goes, and I've been around for a while. The KCP's won a championship, so I think guys know what it takes to win. And there's no ego at this point in our career. We just want to win a championship. The personal accolades have been, for the most part, accomplished, and it's more of a team thing now because KCP tells us how great the time was when they won it, and I want to be able to have that feeling.
In that regard, does it feel like Ish and Jeff and you kind of like hold each other accountable? You're like, we're not necessarily playing a ton, at least we're all in this together and with the end goal of trying to win.
Yeah, that's my main goal, is to win the championship, and I know it is for those guys. Because Jeff's 47 years old, I don't know how much longer he's going to play. But I do think that for me individually, if I'm not playing, I still want to be engaged, helping guys out, calling out players from the bench, talking trash to the other team, because if not, I'm not engaged. It's not fun to sit there, So any way I can be active to help our guys, that's what I'm going to do.
You've been on both sides of it. You've been a starter. You haven't played in games. I mean, can you help a guy like Bones kind of go through what he's going through in terms of?
Yeah, I think Bones is 22 years old, I think he is. The league is so up and down. You play, you don't play, we need you. I just think our job is to keep his spirits up. And, he's been great during this awkward time for him, for sure. He's been extremely supportive of guys, and I think if he was a bad guy, then he would not be shooting after practice with the guys, and he would just leave, But, he's been a pro. I'm sure it's very tough for him right now, but our job is to just continue to make him as comfortable as possible and try to keep the vibe positive.
What do you think about Kyrie to the west?
We play them next week, so we'll see. Obviously, play with both of those guys. They're great scorers, great point guards. But we're trying to beat them, obviously. So.
I mean, it starts with talent, but there's also, I would imagine, a psychological mindset when you get into a championship window. Can you give me some insight about whether this team psychologically is there based on your experience?
I've been on some great teams. I've had some teams on the Clippers where I thought we had a chance to win a championship. We caught the injury bug. But I think that we have enough veterans, enough young blood in here, and enough great years of coaching from our staff that we have what it takes. I don't want us to peak early. It's the beginning of February. I think after we get back from All-Star break, we should be taking those steps to reach our peak going into late April in the playoffs. But I think we have what it takes. But we're still learning some things. Guys are still in and out of rotation and lineups and things like that. But I think that after All-Star break, that's when a different switch and focus has to take place.
What do you think the strongest mental component of this team is?
The strongest mental component. I would just say our fight, man. We've been in games, we've been out of games, and we haven't given up because we know we have the best player in the league on our team who's about to win his third MVP, which is crazy to talk about. And we know we can always fall back on him. There's a lot of pressure on him, but he handles it well, and we got Jamal coming back, and Mike's feeling good too, so we got some guys who can lead us to the promised land.
You've had the opportunity to be coached by a lot of different coaches. Coach Malone received the honor of being the head coach at the All-Star game and experience. What have you learned from him, and what makes him stand out as a coach?
Mike's been around for a long time. Played against the teams that, when I was in the Clippers, he was in Golden State, he was in Sacramento, so he's always been a tough-nosed guy, but he knows a lot of great things, and I think with this team especially, he's put guys in a position to be successful, and they just haven't been able to get over the hump. So hopefully this year is our year, and we've learned from a lot of the mistakes that we've had over the past few years. And, obviously unlucky injury things, but I think he's a great basketball mind, and he really cares about the game. He's more competitive than we are sometimes, but we want that in a coach, and it's exciting to play for a guy like him.
What is the impact and the power behind showing up with a positive attitude and making sure guys are smiling and laughing throughout an 82-game season?
I think it's good, man. For me, I like to be as positive as possible. Once we step on the line, between the lines, it's a different mindset. We're serious, but you don't want to go too crazy because it's an up and down season. We win, we lose, we go on a road trip, we're away from our families, things like that. So it can be very emotional and for guys, but I think we keep it light, and guys play their best basketball when it's a light and fun environment.
Going back to the trades, how much do you guys talk about it, in the locker room? Oh, hey, he's going here, he's going there. Or do you guys try not to look at, that?
No, when there's we don't talk about other guys. If there's news, what do you think? Or if Jeff pisses me off, and I'll be like, hey, I heard they may beat you out of here, stuff like that. But I think our focus is our team. Obviously, when we look at other teams like Boston, Milwaukee, and Phoenix and Memphis, if they make moves, we're kind of okay, these are guys that we may have to go through and things like that. We'll talk about that for a little bit, but mainly we're focused on the Nuggets.
Do you think Jeff could win the second-round pick?
It depends on what year.
Way out in the future.
Way in the future, yeah. For sure, yeah.